Hello everyone, and welcome to the continuation of our 3D printing program. So in this lesson, we'll learn about some application or use of 3D printing in our daily lives. Okay. In our previous lesson, we learned about some 3D printing apps or softwares. Okay, remember SolidWorks, Maya, Fusion 360, Tinkercad, and then Blender are some modeling softwares that you can use to model your 3D objects for 3D printing. So going forward or moving forward, the application of 3D printing, okay, we have about six here. There are several of them, okay. So first we have the use of 3D printing for aerodynamics. So in the aviation sector or these sectors that require some streamlined kind of design to help object move within, let's say, fluid or air. Okay, so like the airplane wings or cars. Okay, so we can also use it to design some manufacturing parts or print some mechanical parts. I can also use 3D printing in hospitals. So, for example, prosthetics. I think I don't know if you guys have heard of Enable. Okay, so they help people with amputated arms or amputees to have their arms back. Okay, with that 3D printed arms. Okay, um, I'll show the images later on. So you can be using agriculture for printing tags, seedling pods, and the likes. Also, some parts of some agriculture inputs, like shovels and the rest. Can also use it in design and fashion, so mannequin, shoes, jewelry, accessories, and then sculpture pieces. They also use 3D printing in architecture, so like topography, okay, so undulating nature of a land, 3D models of buildings. Then you use in education, so learning aids and then apparatus, okay. So yeah, so now let's move to the videos or some images. So these are some uses of 3D printing in agriculture. So these are projects that people have done, and then the sources are here. Okay, so you can see this for a sprinkler. So these are the 3D printed parts for the sprinkler, and then for the handle for a shovel. Okay, then that's a corn sheller. Okay, so in the villages, if you use your arm to deshell or to, yeah, let's say deshell the corn or maize, you might end up with some sauce blisters, and then you later develop some calux on your in your palm. Okay, so using 3D printed this kind of technology or printed parts is very useful. Okay, so that you don't have some blisters or some pain in your palm. Okay. So let's look at agriculture again. We have that of onion. Okay, so this person designed something for holding onion. He named it onion pot. You can see it's very nice. Okay, so 3D printed parts. Then this video actually shows you the his very creative ways to use 3D printing for agriculture. So I'll be skipping them. So you can see this is going to help separate the crops. Okay. He used some for hose. Another one too, 3D printed it, and then you can use it. Then you can use to sprinkle, yeah, as you see here. So let's move to aerodynamics. So look at the wing of a plane or let's say flaps. Okay, so 3D printed like airplane wing. And then let's look at something for a drone. Okay, so this drone was done in GTL. So the parts here, so the main parts of the drone, okay, here was 3D printed. Okay, and then the arms, okay, were also 3D printed. So aerodynamics again, so there's an engine for a plane. Okay, so you can see the turbo engine. Okay, and then some parts. Okay, like the gear and then propellers and the likes. Okay, so let's look at education. So education, you can see some 3D printed objects here, some gear being printed here, and then some topography or a map of a, let's say, an area that's 3D printed. So you can see, and then I think they use different colors, 3D printed colors, or it could also be painted, just so to help people know maybe about some vegetation or some temperature. Probably maybe the higher you go, I know the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. But probably maybe this should be, maybe this color should be for a different purpose. Okay, maybe the green fields, maybe the yellow could be other form of vegetations. Okay, yeah. So you can see here the kids are using Tinkercad as their modeling software to model something, and then it will be later be printed. Okay, so you can use them in education too. As you see, we also have the 3D pen. So the 3D pen also uses a filament. As you see, there's a filament. Okay, and then you can actually um, use to 3D print. Okay, so if you know of a glue gun, so what it does is the filament is inserted into the pen at one end, and then it has a heating mechanism inside, which helps it heat the filament to a molten state or a liquid state. Then once it comes into contact with an object or the air, it solidifies as you see here. Okay. You can see using 3D printing to print a hat, and then you can use it to actually do some demonstration of how the hat works or the various compartments or parts of the hat. Okay, I can use different colors of the 3D filaments or um, material to also demonstrate the various aspects or parts of the hat. That's the hat. Okay. Now let's look at fashion. So fashion, there's a 3D printed shoe, okay, and then the source are below, and then there's some garments or dress 3D printed, and then some jewelry or necklace. Okay. Now let's look at architecture. So there's a 3D modeled building, okay, and then this is completely 3D modeled, like here that people can live inside. It's actually done within in a particular country. The source is here. Okay, everything 3D printed, like this whole structure 3D printed. The wood isn't 3D printed, but we have 3D printed filaments or materials that also exhibit some characteristics or traits of metals, wood, and the like. So it wouldn't be a surprise if this was also 3D printed, since we have 3D printers that also exhibits some properties of wood, metals, and the likes. Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so this another one for architecture. Okay, so you can see fully 3D printed, but this one is on a large scale, requires some kind of investment. So, yeah. Then a process, okay, I think this was done in an hour or so, or I think the previous one was done in an hour. So you build a house in an hour, or no, in 24 hours. Yeah, 24 hours. Yeah. So these people, 3D printing is actually helping people to innovate ways, various ways that you can actually help people to strive or thrive in this world. Yeah. Okay, so with health or in the hospitals, as I mentioned earlier, enable or enable. So these are for prosthetics. So the arms, okay, 3D printed arms for people who don't have arms or some somehow muscle flaws, their arms or yeah, lost their arms. Okay, can be 3D printed, and then whichever country you are, the file is already there. Okay, you can send a request for the file, and I think it will be sent to you. All you have to do is, if you have someone who can help you with the tweaking it to fine tune your desired yeah, that's fine. If you want them to do it for you, I think they can. Okay, but I know all I know is I think the files are available online. They have a community. Okay, you can see here a 3D printed heart also available here. Okay, so you can see someone printed a 3D print this things for to support her friend or his or her friend to help them locomote or move around. And then this one too, 3D printed jaw, okay, for someone. Okay. So these are some interesting things that can be done in 3D printing. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.